80 AD, opening day of the Colosseum. 50,000 people had taken their seats. Emperor Titus was in the imperial box. The crowd was waiting for lions and gladiators. But suddenly, the arena floor opened and a massive ship emerged. Within seconds, the arena transformed into a sea. Ships began to battle. How is this possible? The crowd roared. Behind the scenes, Chief Engineer Haterius rubbed his hands together and smiled. After 10 years of work, it finally works. 80 AD, 10 years earlier, Emperor Vespasian was looking at the pond section of Nero's Domos, Area. Nero built a golden palace here. He told architect Haterius, "I will give the people a gift here. The greatest entertainment center the world has ever seen, an amphitheater." Haterius asked, "No, not just an amphitheater, a miracle. There will be naval battles inside. Animals will emerge from underground. The ceiling will open and close. People will ask, is this magic?" Haterius swallowed. "Emperor, this is ... impossible. Not for you. You're Rome's best architect, and I'll give you the best engineer." Haterius was Rome's most brilliant engineer, but he was an odd man. He constantly made drawings, built strange machines. Haterius said at their first meeting, "We're building a structure, and you make toys." Toys? Haterius narrowed his eyes. "I build machines, machines that no one can imagine. The emperor wants us to create a miracle." Haterius smiled. "A miracle? I'll show him magic." The first meeting was a disaster. 50,000 people, said Haterius. "They'll all enter and exit at the same time. How will that work?" Traditional amphitheaters had only a few entrances. People would wait for hours. "It's a flow problem," said Haterius. "We must think like water." "How does water flow?" "What?" said Haterius, confused. "Water flows fast when there are no obstacles. We need to make 80 entrances." 80 entrances? Are you crazy? "No, I'm a mathematician." Haterius drew on the board. He showed the Colosseum's elliptical shape, different entrances on each level. 76 entrances for the ground floor. For special entrances for upper levels. Each entrance is numbered. Each ticket corresponds to that entrance. Won't people get confused? They won't, because we'll guide them. "Look, ... double quotes." Haterius drew the internal structure, the corridor system, stairs, ramps, all according to a specific flow. "Vomitoria," he said. "What?" "Latin for to vomit. People will exit quickly, as if the building is vomiting them out. 50,000 people can exit in 8 minutes. Haterius calculated. This ... could actually work. When the first test came, everyone was amazed. 50,000 people entered in just 15 minutes. Exit took 8 minutes. A miracle, said the spectators. "No," said Haterius. "Mathematics." But the real miracle was underground. "The emperor wants naval battles," said Haterius. "We'll fill the arena with water." "No," said Haterius. "We'll do something better." What could be better? An underground city. Haterius thought Haterius had gone mad. But then he saw the drawings. Below the arena, 6 meters deep, a 2-level underground complex. Corridors, rooms, cages, machines. "What will we put here?" he asked. "Everything. Gladiators will come from here. Animals will emerge from here. Scenery will rise from here." "But how will it rise?" Haterius showed his favorite part. 28 elevator shafts. Counterweight systems. Weight balance. One side goes down, the other goes up. 8 slaves can raise a lion cage to the arena in 3 seconds. When construction began, workers couldn't believe it. They were building a giant labyrinth beneath the ground. One day, Haterius found Haterius underground, making drawings by candlelight in the darkness. "What are you doing here?" "Testing. Sound reverberation, airflow, how fast workers can move." "Are you insane?" "No, I'm a perfectionist." 80 AD, Vespasian said. "An elephant. Can you raise it to the arena?" The elephant weighed for tons. A normal elevator couldn't lift it, but Haterius had designed a special system. Triple rope system, 6 counterweights, 12 slaves. "Are you ready?" Haterius shouted from underground. "Ready. Now." A rumbling sound. The floor opened. The platform rose. And suddenly, The massive elephant appeared in the center of the arena. Workers applauded, but Haterius wasn't satisfied. It took 5.2 seconds. We need to get it down to 4 seconds. But we succeeded. Success isn't enough. It must be perfect. In summer, Rome was scorching hot. 50,000 people would roast under the sun. We need shade, said Vespasian. A roof, asked Raberius. No, said Haterius. Movable shade. Valerium. The Valerium was a giant awning system. But how would they install this at the Colosseum's scale? Haterius found the solution: ship technology. At the top of the Colosseum, 240 wooden masts, each with a rope system. A total of 80 large awning sections. But who will set it up? Asked Raberius. Sailors. Naval soldiers, from classes Miss Naval soldiers. Rome's best seamen, now working at the Colosseum. The first installation nearly became a disaster. Wind picked up, awnings flew about, ropes tangled, but the chief sailor, Navichus Quintus, understood the system. This isn't different from a ship, he said. Calculate the wind direction, coordinate the ropes. 2 hours later, the Valerium was installed. 50,000 square meters of shade. Perfect, said Haterius. But there's a problem. What problem? Smell. 50,000 people, animals, blood. The air will be disgusting. Haterius had calculated the building's ventilation. The Valerium wasn't just shade. When installed at special angles, it created wind. Venturi effect, he explained. When air passes through a narrow area, it accelerates. When the Valerium is installed this way, it creates natural airflow. Even better, fragrant scents were sprayed from beneath the Valerium, thanks to saffron water sprays. On the first test day, spectators were amazed. The air cooled. Beautiful scents are coming. How is this possible? Haterius smiled. Aerodynamics. The emperor made the most difficult request. I want naval battles in the arena. This was madness. How would the arena be filled with water? Haterius explained the plan. Water channels. We'll bring water from Aqua Claudia. We'll fill it into a special tank under the arena. What about the Hypogeum? We'll close it. We'll temporarily put down a wooden floor. Fill it with water on top. How much water is needed? 1.2 million liters. Everyone was incredulous. But Haterius had calculated. 500,000 liters of water per hour came from the Aqua Claudia aqueducts. The arena would fill in 3 hours. The first trial was conducted. At midnight, workers filled the arena with water. By morning, there was water 1.5 meters deep. Small ships were brought in, and ... It worked. Ships were floating in the arena. But a problem arose: water draining. How will we drain the water? Asked Raberius. Haterius smiled. I thought of that. Drainage channels, connected to Cloaca Maxima. All water drains in 2 hours. 80 AD, June. Vespasian had died, but his son Titus held the opening. First day, animal hunts. Haterius was underground with his team. Are you ready? 100 lions, 50 bears, 30 leopards were in cages. Row 1, go. The counterweight dropped. The platform rose. 5 lions burst into the arena. Spectators were shocked. They came from the ground. Row 2, go. Bears emerged. Row 3, go. Leopards followed. In 15 minutes, 180 animals were brought to the arena. Spectators went wild. Is this magic? No, said the arena announcer. This is Roman engineering. Gladiator fights began, but Haterius had prepared a surprise. A gladiator fell to the ground. The other was about to deliver the final blow, but suddenly the floor opened and a new gladiator burst from the ground. Trapdoor, shouted the spectators. There were 28 trapdoors in the arena floor. Haterius had designed them for surprise moments. Then a bigger surprise. Forest scene. Within seconds, the arena filled with trees. A river model rose from the ground. Rock formations appeared. How are they doing this? The people roared. Haterius was giving commands underground. Platform 5, rise. Platform 8, rotate. Platform 12, change. 100 slaves were working in coordination. Each was performing a task, like a giant clock mechanism. The biggest day had come. Naval battle. Water was filled overnight. By morning, the arena was a sea. 2 small ships were brought, 50 warriors on each. "Let the battle begin," roared Titus. Ships collided. Arrows flew. Men fell into the water. Blood mixed with water. Spectators stood up. A real naval battle. After a 3-hour battle, Titus summoned Haterius. "You created a miracle." "No, Majesty. I'm just an engineer. I'll give you a reward." "Whatever you want," Haterius thought. "I want one thing. Permission to build bigger machines." Haterius established a secret laboratory under the Colosseum. Here he was, testing new machines. One day, Rediscovery found him there. He was building a strange machine. "What's this?" "Automatic trap door. Won't need slaves. We'll use a timer." "Timer. Water clock. After a certain time, weight will drop. Platform will open. Automatic. Will it work? Let's try." The machine was set up. The water clock started. After 60 seconds, clunk. The trap door opened. "It worked," roared Rediscovery. "Of course it worked. I made it." Years passed. Haterius grew old. One day Rediscovery found him working on drawings. "Still working?" "Yes, because I must record this knowledge. Future generations must know. No one cares. One day they will care. One day someone will ask, 'How did the Romans do this?' And I will leave the answer." When Haterius died, his drawings were lost. For centuries, the secrets of the Colosseum were forgotten. In the 1800s, archaeologists began excavating the Colosseum. When they discovered the Hypogeum, they were shocked. "My God," said archaeologist Rodolfo Lanciani, "this is a labyrinth. Corridor after corridor, room after room, shaft after shaft. How did this work? Pulley traces, counterweight shoes, rope channels, an elevator system." 2,000 years ago, in the 1990s, German engineer Heinz-Jürgen Best tried to reconstruct the Colosseum on paper. He worked for 10 years. He measured every stone, examined every hole, followed every trace. Finally, he created a 3D model. And when he ran it, oh my God, Haterius was a genius. According to Best's calculations, the elevator system worked in 4 seconds. 28 elevators could work simultaneously. 60 animals per hour could be brought to the arena. Complete coordination was required. This is at the level of modern technology. In the 2010s, a computer simulation was made. The Colosseum was recreated in a digital environment. When engineers tested it, they found that Haterius' design was 97% efficient, almost the same as modern calculations. What we did with our computers, he calculated in his head. The technologies used in the Colosseum weren't lost. Their effects are still visible today. Modern stadiums use the vomitoria concept. Elevator systems use the same counterweight principles. Ventilation uses natural airflow designs. Stage technology uses theater trapdoors. 95 AD, old Haterius was on his deathbed. Rediscovery came to visit. Rediscovery, my friend, ... Yes. The Colosseum ... Is it still working? Yes, every day. For 15 years, without problems. Haterius smiled. Good, because I designed it to work for 100 years. 100 years. Yes, every stone, every machine, every rope, ... all calculated. It will last 100 years with minimum maintenance. Are you crazy? No one thinks 100 years ahead. Haterius laughed. I'm an engineer. I think of eternity. Haterius died, but the Colosseum worked for 400 years, 4 times what he calculated. Today the Colosseum still stands. 2,000 years later, when tourists enter, when they look at the Hypogeum, they're amazed. How was this done? The answer is simple. Geniuses like Haterius, when he was making those drawings, he didn't know that 2,000 years later, people would still be studying his work, admiring it. Perhaps the real miracle is this. Human intelligence conquers time. Haterius is dead, but his machines still speak. Today, when you visit the Colosseum, you can go down to the Hypogeum. You can look at the dark corridors, and if you listen very carefully, you can still hear the creaking of ropes, the rustling of counterweights, the applause of 50,000 spectators, and maybe, just maybe, the voice of Haterius. Not perfect, we could have done better.